How is it now? Can you hear Nick?
Hello? We got sound? We got audio now?
Okay, cool. They can hear now. So apparently, we had no sound. Apologies for that. Basically, I was just showering Nick with how awesome he is, and he was basically just telling us he's been here for pretty much as long as he can remember. He loves traveling around, going to places, and he is a scumbag control player like Zach, apparently.
That's me. That's what I do. So I'm gonna sit here and bore you with a bunch of purple cards today.
Hey, whatever works, man. I mean, going to locals, you play against every deck, and so at some point you're gonna play someone who all they do is just flip trap cards, and that's okay.
For sure. You gotta make it work out somehow, however you can.
Absolutely. I mean, that shows one of the great things that I wanted mainly to get out of this series in general is I know for me personally, when I started playing competitive again, I got really nervous to go to locals around here and even locals in Odessa because I'm like, oh, I don't want to. I know I'm not very good at the moment. Playing, even though I'm playing probably one of the best decks, Tri Brigade. I don't think I'm playing that today. But even though I'm playing one of the best decks, that doesn't mean I know how to pilot it or even do some of the combos sometimes. So I was nervous to go to locals and be like around people who may have been playing, for as long as you have, for example, and like you always kind of hear the horror stories of like just people being jerks at locals or like kind of like gatekeeping the community almost. And so one of the things I wanted to do with this player showcase was showcase players from around Texas. Right now, we've only done Abilene and Odessa, but mainly showcase players and show maybe new players that are wanting to go locals, but same as me, were just nervous to go because they didn't want to be gate kept. Show them like, hey, like it doesn't matter what deck you play, it doesn't matter what skill level you're at, as long as you're chill, willing to learn, you're gonna meet friends and you're gonna have people who are going to help you out. They're not just gonna say, oh, you're bad, bye, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't think that we have anybody like that in our community. At least we haven't in a good few years. People come and go, but I think generally right now our community is pretty welcoming. We usually have a few new players show up every now and then, especially me with being a judge. I want everybody to have a welcoming place to come and play because nobody should have to deal with being put down or harassed at their locals. You're just there to have fun on a Saturday night. And that's part of my goal as well, is I want new players to come in and play things that are fun and cool. And going in on that, I hope you don't mind if I plug real quick.
Oh, go
Uh,
for it, dude. You got it.
we've got a special tournament coming up on October 16th for anybody in the surrounding area who's interested. We're going to start a monthly series of doing a custom ban list tournament. We're going with the normal Konami ban list, so that way it's still going to be able to be sanctioned. We are just adding on to it. Certain things are not allowed, so that way we can try and bring up tiers like 3 and 4 and some more fun decks. So we're like disallowing Drytron and Tri Brigade, and we're hoping to see some cool stuff. We've got Dan that he loves stuff like Blackwings and Gladiator Beast that he can't play normally because he doesn't want to get just washed by the meta. And then we've got other guys that want to play like Cosmo and Guru for some reason and stuff like that. And that's what I want to see. I want to give everybody a nice break from the meta and see some more diversity around.
You didn't have to call out Zach with that guru. He's gonna be salty for sure. But no, I mean,
Uh,
yeah, absolutely. Like when I first started getting back into Yu-Gi-Oh and just playing with my roommates, the first deck that I picked up and like right off the bat was Ghost Trick, and I don't know why, I just loved it. I thought it was so stupid but so much fun. And then I eventually built a Cosmo deck, and I still have that. Probably still my favorite archetype. Uh, at the moment just because I'm a huge like Star Wars nerd. So it was like, whoa, I get to have Star Wars and Yu-Gi-Oh. That's awesome. But yeah, I know that once I saw that list, I was so excited and I was like, I'm gonna go I'm gonna go out and like find some cards, build some decks like specifically just for that tournament, just because like you said, you want to play for fun sometimes and for people who are like on the significantly casual side, then it doesn't feel that bad. I mean, it still sucks to get washed by like 8 negate Drytron, but like, you're still gonna play your fun decks because like that's how you find enjoyment out of the game is playing like those fun off meta decks. But now we have like a sanctioned event for that where I can bust out like the Cyber Cosmo deck that I've had for like years, or I can like bust out the Mutant deck that I bought like last week, or like Amazements or something like that, and just like get not only out of like the monotony of playing against meta versus meta all the time, but like even giving the competitive players who are like I'm only playing the best deck because I want to win, like giving them something where, oh, I can play my like third or fourth deck or like maybe my favorite archetype that's not good.
Yeah, and if you wanted to go along with something like that, don't get too excited. But I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I saw a second place list from a New Zealand tournament recently that was actually Ghost Trick Orchest, and I
Okay.
tell you, these New Zealand players are on a whole other level. So if you want that, I can hook you up with that a little bit later. It's wild,
Dude,
but
that sounds
it,
awesome. That sounds like Galaxy Brain Copium right there.
yeah,
That's
it's
insane.
insane. Like people are holding on, and you know what? I respect it. I want Trick Starlight Stage to be back. You guys can play Ghost Trick Orchest all you want.
Absolutely. We'll talk about after this episode, guys, when we're finished with the duel and everything, we'll take a few minutes of a break and then we'll be here with Nick and Thomas to talk about the recent ban list. But I know one of the things I really wanted to see, and I know Thomas for sure wanted to see, is that Orchestra Harpor off the ban list, at least to one. Just to every everyone kind of misses that format, depending on who you talk to. But I mean, what would Harpor want to one hurt?
Hardboard to one would probably put the deck back in tier one status, and I think that's okay. I wasn't a big Orcus guy, but when I'm not playing control decks, I'm playing ridiculous decks like Lunalight Orcust. That was my favorite deck of the towards the end of the Eternal format, and I just want my girl Tiger back. You can have your Hardcore. I want my Tiger. Just give me something, Konami. Come on, throw me a bone.
Right, absolutely. And I didn't really play during the Eternal format. I did watch here and there, just kind of keeping up with Yu-Gi-Oh! And all I know is Lunalight Orcus was crazy. That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Deck was insane. Setting up a Nightmare Griffin that can't point to anything with an Eradicator Epidemic Virus. It's nuts. And then you sit across from Bortle, who made a Traptrix deck profile the week before, and you call spells on him because you think he's playing Sky Striker, and you just lose because of it. Not saying that that happened to me, but it may have happened to me.
It's one of those things where you try to mind game so hard you mind game yourself and then you just lose because of
Yep,
course.
sure
Awesome.
did.
Well, so transitioning into the competitive side a little bit more, do you have any, notable winnings or tops or like even just having gone to tournaments? Is there any kind of notable thing that you would kind of want to be like, oh yeah, I'm proud of myself for doing this or that or whatever?
Yeah, for sure. So I've been to all kinds of regionals, and I've been to a few YCSs all here in Texas. I haven't ever gone out of the state, mainly in DFW, but of course going to Lubbock. I know Zach talked about Mad Hatter's. Place is awesome. Hatter's a great guy. He holds some great regionals out in Lubbock. Other than that, it's usually like Epic down in DFW.
Mhm.
But my biggest closest that I've gotten to a top was right when the DDD structure deck came out after it had been delayed for months and replaced with the Felgrand structure deck. I don't know if you know about this, but it was supposed to come out and it got replaced with the Felgrand structure deck, and then it came out 2 months later. That
Interesting.
structure deck came out. I had it all waiting, and I got three of them pre-ordered on the day that they came out. And there was a regional that weekend. I think it was the next weekend on the day that Raging Tempest came out, and it that was the day that was the set that Zodiac came out in, and I got 17th place. I believe it was like 190 people. I got
Oh,
17th out of a top 16, and I had to play against five Zodiac out of my 7 matches. I
that's
was
an
I was really I was really upset about it, but it was cool. That was one of my favorite decks, and it was that's something that I keep with me. Very
aw-
proud of it.
awesome. The DDD stuff.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. The pendulum fusion,
Yeah,
they do everything.
yeah, I was like, I know, like, again, just kind of keeping up with Yu-Gi-Oh! I did watch some of the anime and, kind of caught up on some of the Arc 5 stuff when it was happening. So all I know is, like, one of the super crazy dudes, like, he would just pendulum summon and then, like, Xyz, Synchro, Fusion. And and I'm like, what is going on? Like, I have no idea what's going on. I remember it was like I think my sophomore year of college when Pendulum came out, and I bought like the giant box that came with the structure deck and like a mat and like something else, and it like linked you to the Konami website where you could watch the video on like what Pendulum summoning was and how it was. And I was just like, I have no idea. Like, this is not the game that I played when I was like 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Yeah, it's definitely different now, but other than link summoning, like right now is a pretty good time to get in if you're gonna go for something like Tri Brigade. That's pretty simple.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of what I was looking at when, getting back into it was what are some of the create or like what are some of the meta decks and um I didn't want to play Drytron just because it was kind of expensive at the time with Diviner of Herald or Diviner of Herald, however you want to say that. Uh, Tri Brigade was pretty budget friendly and also seemed like the easiest to like somewhat understand. And then I've played against oh, what is the guy that used to play Virtual World at locals? What is his name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Uh,
Here in Abilene.
yeah,
Oh, Juan. He
Juan.
plays
Yeah,
Virtual World like all the time.
yeah. Like I still I think I've played one like once or twice, and I still have absolutely no idea what that deck does. All I know is Macrocosmos on legs, and then a bunch of just random synchros and putting counters on cards and changing levels. And I'm like, okay, dude, like you could completely lie to me, and I would just be like, okay, I don't, sure, whatever you say works, I guess. You blow up my own field,
Yeah,
okay.
I tend to have that sometimes. I let the brain worms take over, and I refuse to read a Sword Soul card, and it's going to get me in trouble later on. But those cards have a lot of words on them, and I don't care about tokens or synchro summoning. Like I'm not going to read your cards. You do whatever you want, and it's going to be like that for a while. So I feel you there.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're. Is that why your brother is going down the Despia route? He doesn't want to read cards either.
I'm sure he's got some crazy stuff in the works with that. Just wait and see. I know it's waiting in the wings. He and I were talking about it the other day, so it's gonna be cool. Fairies are cool. Fairy decks are very cool. So I think he's gonna come in and give us all the hands with that for a couple weeks before we start to read cards and learn.
Right. Hey, that's fair. He gave me the hands last week with or this past Saturday with salads. So I think I've played against that deck more now than any other deck that I've played, and I'm still like, I don't know where the choke point is with this deck. I'm just here. I just work here.
Yeah, Salads is one of those that if you don't hit it right, you're gonna suffer, and even if you do and you don't manage to shut them down, they're just gonna do it again the next turn. So you got to actually study up on that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so transitioning a little bit towards the duel, if you know a deck you're playing today, then by all means you can tell us, or you can keep it a secret. It's up to you. You kind of did say something along the lines of control, with a bunch of trap cards and stuff. But overall, uh, what would you say your like your favorite decks or your favorite archetypes or your favorite types of decks are to play?
I've had a lot of them over time. Definitely, I'm a control player at heart. I've gone through. I played Cliffort when it was Vanity's Emptiness, lose one turn, sitting on a towers, and I love that. Monarchs, Domain Monarchs was one of my best decks, but the ones that I really love, like I don't know if you know Gishki, old
Uh,
water ritual deck.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know what they do other than they're just the water ritual stuff, but I don't yeah, I kind of know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was either a hand loop for 6 or it was I'm gonna kill you for 11,000 damage on second turn. Other than that, like Lightsworn, I loved Lightsworn. Recently, though, it's been more things like Eldritch. I haven't really found anything in this meta that I liked. I've been playing Drytron, but Drytron's okay. But yeah, Gishki is hand loop the deck, like you said. Yeah, Drytron's okay, but I'm a control player at heart. True Draco, Paleozoic, and Eldritch, I would say, are probably some of my favorite control decks.
Awesome. Now I have to ask you though, with you playing control decks, are you a scumbag Mystic Mind player?
I Okay, let me give you my perspective on this. I don't
Okay.
hate Mystic Mine, but I'm also not one of the people who enjoys playing Mystic Mine. I understand that it's not fun to play against, and I personally don't like the kind of game state that it creates. So the only time that I've really played Mystic Mine in any kind of meaningful capacity was when I was playing Sky Striker, and
Huh.
even then, it just felt so dirty. I don't like it.
That's fair. I think I just have a very jaded like experience with the card just because when I was getting back into it and like I had like Dueling Book downloaded, or I had like Dueling Book that I was playing on. I had YGO Omega that I was playing on, and even like recently going back to like Project Ignis EDO Pro, you go to like play on like the ranked servers or like anything. I feel like all I ran into was like Mystic Mine plus X alternative win condition. Like I don't know how many times I've seen the animation for Destiny Board or Exodia playing ranked, and it's just like again like you like kind of like you say, like it just feels so scummy, and it just made me like lose all motivation to play Yu-Gi-Oh for like the rest of the day because I was just like I'm all we're doing is sitting here and drawing cards until you draw your alternative win condition, and that's it.
Yeah, it's weird, especially on somewhere like Edo Pro. You'll find some really weird stuff. There was a time when I was testing tunes here pretty within the last 6 months, and I got on Edo Pro ranked, and I played 3 games in a row, and every single one of them was a tune mirror match with a different person. Like, you're not going to find that anywhere. Why is it happening on Edo Pro?
That's that is actually insane. I guess everyone was just on the Toon hype train. Was this like around Toon Chaos or something?
Absolutely not. This was like 6 months ago.
Okay, so it was just kind of like out of the blue, just like you
Yeah,
and like the other three Toon players in the world decided that they wanted to play on the same server.
yeah, no good reason for it at all.
Awesome, awesome. Well, is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you feel like people should know about you, or you do want to talk about before we get locked into this duel?
I don't think so. The only thing that I would want to say is come check out Abilene Yu-Gi-Oh! We have a Facebook group, Abilene Yu-Gi-Oh! Community. Come check out the gathering place. A lot of cool people. We could use more players.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, chat, we will be back here in about 5 minutes or so. We are going to get EDO Pro locked and loaded. We're going to make sure our decks are set. And we are also going to make sure that we don't have any more technical issues like we did at the beginning of the stream. So, we will be back by no later than 9 o'clock. So, that's about 7 minutes from now. So, we will get everything set up and we will see you here in a second. All right, stream. Welcome back. Hopefully you can hear us. Hopefully everything is all good, and we are going to go ahead and start our duel. Nick, are you gonna tell us what you're running, or are you gonna let it keep being a surprise?
Yeah, I'll give you the inside scoop.
All right, all right.
Originally, I was planning, especially I was talking with my brother and Zach about decks that I've known for, and they both gave me the same two answers. One of which was Eldritch, and that was originally what I was going to play. I threw
Okay.
together like three Eldritch variants because that is one of my favorite decks. But last minute substitution, I ended up deciding to go with a build that I've been tweaking around a little bit of Paleo.
Okay.
So we're gonna see some Aqua Boy action, and we'll see how it works. We'll see if I don't mess it up after not playing it for so many years.
Hey, man. All I'm saying is you've been studying up on the Pokemon because I'm actually going to play Adamantipator Prank Kids and Water Beats Rock. Everyone knows that,
Ooh,
so I'm countering myself going in.
all right. I'm
All
not a
right.
fan of Prank Kids, but Adamantipator is pretty base, so I respect it.
And one of my favorite decks. And I am going to, before we start here, move move this whole camera setting over onto a part that doesn't matter. And then it's just decided not to move. So we're just gonna take that off. All right. Oh, cool! I won. I had RPS. I feel like I never win, especially on stream. I feel like I never win.
Yeah, Paper Gang let me down, unfortunately.
I don't even. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. Let's start off with normal summon of a rock. So funny thing about Adamantipator, and especially if you would have played Eldritch, when I was just kind of trying to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh, I was watching like a bunch of the like DB Grinder and like other decks or other people like that, and I remember watching like tournaments where Eldritch and Adamantipator were being played on DB, and like cards just flying everywhere because you have to do everything manually, and I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, it's weird playing it on DB with a deck like Adamantipator. Sick rip on the Roxy's though.
Yeah. Think about how I want to go about this. Wish you were playing someone good. Who is that? Oh my gosh, the loose nut. Who is that?
I'm sure it's someone there ragging on me, and when I find out who it is, they're gonna be
I
laughing. I'm
I
sure.
I know the username. I just forgot. I want to say it's not Zach. It's not Zach because he was the dirtiest
No.
worm. Who was that?
Yeah, yeah. God, I'm so sick of prank kid cards. I'm so glad Meow got limited.
That's fair.
No spoilers, but
No spoilers for the ban list. Everyone's probably seen.
yeah.
Okay, so let's do that. Do this, and then grab that. I almost
Interesting
clipped.
choice sending the drops.
I almost got rid of the wrong card.
Mm-hmm. This just summons any monster, yeah. Oh, any rock.
Any rock.
Cool. E-barrier in the main. Very interesting.
This is like kind of like what I have physically, and I was playing it yesterday, and then I realized like the reason I put it in there was stupid, so I just haven't taken it out yet.
E-barrier is really good, especially if you're just playing at a local level, and you can make a really good meta call on your locals. I was playing it for a little bit when my brother was going on a tear with Infernoble again.
Mm.
Didn't get to pull it off, but if it would have made it, card's crazy. Kind of got every option you could ever want.
Yeah. Let's go with this. Oh,
Oh, you
wait.
ran out of time.
Oh no. Oh, I'm so bad. It's fine.
All right, all
I
right.
didn't even
You wanna
I
rerun it?
it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I didn't even
All right.
realize that there was a time thing up there.
That's highly unfortunate.
I was mind gaming myself too hard.
Yeah, you do have that timer option, so unfortunately, got the best of you this time.
I got I got rocked. No pun intended. It's fine. I was just thinking too hard. Now I know. I think this is the first time that I'm doing one of these in EDO Pro. So I don't even think I knew that was like an option.
Oh yeah, Edo Pro's really weird. You have to actually set the timer, otherwise it's gonna get you.
Got it. Got
Uh,
it.
well, I guess we're just gonna go with this.
I'll go first again.
Sure.
Well, I liked my opening so much. I guess I'll do it again.
I guess you will. Yeah, crazy, both of them. Sure.
Got to do it fast now. Can't think as hard. Okay, so this is a hard. That's not a hard decision,
Let's be honest. Was there another choice?
actually. I mean, I thought about going for the Roxy's, but I was like, hold on. I was like, this just insulates me from hand traps.
Hmm.
Why would I do anything else?
I mean, it's Adamantipator. You can still make a pretty formidable board even if you don't get the prank, especially if you have
Correct.
that. Yo, there's Zach in the chat plugging his emotes.
Hype.
I dig it.
The other dirty control player,
Yeah.
according to chat.
Ugh. The
There we go.
Roxy's for number 5.
We take those.
Sick.
Okay. Gotta do this fast.
Zach, since you're just tuning in, we are gonna have a short little, maybe short, I don't know, bandless discussion with Thomas Perpetua after the game. I don't know if you know who that is, but I'm sure you've seen the name around.
Oh, oh no, actually, no, it is not fun.
Oh, it's gonna miss you out on one.
Yeah, well, sucks, but that is how do I? Wait, that's two. Oh, great.
Sorry, we take those.
We take the misplay into Appaloosa. It's fine.
We sure do. All right.
Woo.
Show me the other Guardian. Yep.
There you go.
All right. Well, the cool thing about all this is we're just gonna actually, how do I want to do this?
Show me the droplets.
I'm gonna show you this.
Okay. Bueno.
And then I'm gonna show you this.
Where's the multi-fake? Ew, nasty. Even worse.
Now the question is, do I just leave the oppo up? I think we might.
That is fair. That is fair. Spicy 1,000 burn damage in the standby phase.
Oh man, I don't know how to read. I hope you don't kill me. We'll see. We're gonna pass.
Okay. I think
You
it's
can Take your 1,000.
It's sad that I have to actually click on that to activate. It doesn't just automatically do it.
Yeah, it forces. Edopro's weird. Let's do one of these.
Ew.
Got cards in the graveyard now.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm about to excavate this probably. What did you get rid of? Actually, shit.
Yeah, so this is gonna let me excavate the top card of my deck, and then I believe this is that effect. Excavate the top card, and if it's a trap, nope. This is letting me reorder the top of my deck, top 3.
Got it, got it, got it.
It has a quick effect during your turn that lets me
So,
excavate the top
yeah.
card of my deck, and if it's a trap, I can set it.
Okay.
That's fine. Another Roxy's, Jesus, everything.
Too bad I don't have another. I don't play 2 of the. What's it called?
Cat.
Yeah, I don't play 2 of the cat, which is impossible now, by the way.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is gonna end up being the build that becomes popularized. Fibrex. With that, I will activate the back check.
Okay. Canadian. Target 1 face up, change its face down. Okay.
Yeah, it's just Book of Moon.
That is fair, that is fair. Target that one.
All right, you're gonna have to see my spicy tech now.
All right, let's see the spice.
We're gonna go Storm Dragon's Return.
Okay.
Special summon the back check to my side of the field. Parallel Exceed. Oh, that does point there, doesn't it? Sure.
Kinda nutty.
So Storm Dragon's Return is like utterly terrible and everything but Cosmo. At least I thought.
I was about to say that's the only reason why I know what that card does is because of the Cosmo.
Yeah, and then you realize Ronin Toaded banishes frogs, and that's pretty good. You have a setup for Gallant here. I think we're gonna stop that.
Okay.
And why not? We'll get a Morella from the grave.
Okay. That is also okay. Activates. Oh. Do I even have anything else to do? I guess I could go ahead and do that.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. That's all I needed to see.
Jesus. I think that's fine.
Yeah. It's not the worst thing in the world. Oh, I just realized that was still on the field.
Yeah, so
Eh,
the
yeah,
Paleozoic
they
are
can't.
unaffected by monster effects.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Little known fact.
Let me get in for that 0 damage.
Yeah. That's the big one.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Let's see. This guy doesn't do anything on my turn. Neither does this guy or this guy. So, I guess we're gonna start playing some Yu-Gi-Oh. I'll put a little frog on the field.
That is okay. Do I have a water? Oh, I do.
I'm going to send. Oh, that is a negate. Whoops. I'm glad you said that because I was not reading.
I don't have a water
What's
in grave. Hauk is Earth. by the way.
Nice, good to know. We're gonna do Swap Frog again. We'll put him back, and we're gonna activate his effect. We'll send a rodent,
Okay.
and we'll summon him again. And then we're just gonna dump another guy.
That's okay.
We'll dump another swap. Oh my god, I sent
Oh,
the
you
wrong one.
you clicked that.
I did not realize. Okay, it's fine, it's fine. I'm not as plus as I was going to be, but this is still fine. Because Swap Frog is a card that has text on it. Let's do this.
Okay.
I'm sure you can see where this is going, or not going, I guess.
I was like trying to figure out when I wanted to get it, and then I saw that, and I was like, okay, never mind. Get that out
Not
of
gonna
here.
let me Zeus you. Come on.
Get that out of here.
Ah, it's a spell trap card or effect. Yes, very nice.
Well, this is useless in my extra deck now, so I might as well send that.
All right. I guess we're gonna put this guy on board.
Sounds good.
It's gonna be yours. I was not expecting punishment to be behind all that. What? Sure. That's the water monster.
There we go. Give me my one card.
Yep.
I almost switch that to defense. We did it. I think this makes up for my game time.
For sure. Very nice. Let's see what happens if I get to go first.
Oh wait, I literally just put that in. Okay. I don't know why this is still here, but that's fine. Good luck. Game 3.
You know we're going first.
Oh, 100%.
Interesting. Get hyped for some riveting gameplay.
Yeah. No T set. Oh,
Yeah, we're going in.
this is where I top deck Harpies.
Yeah, you're just gonna evenly me here. I'm gonna be real sad.
Ah. Uh,
Oki, the best normal summon.
actually based. Not really.
You know what? I'm just gonna stop you while you're ahead.
That's fair. That is actually a-okay. Go ahead, buddy.
All right. Cool. I'm liking where we're going with this. Hmm. I think that we're gonna send it.
That is fair. Go for it.
Beware my frogs.
Frog's too strong.
Big frog with another frog.
Oof. Okay, I have to read this card. You can detach one material from this card, special summon one frog from your deck. Once per turn, when your opponent activates spell or trap, you can send one aqua.
All right. Let's go battle. Let's see if we can attack your little Doki Doki.
I'm gonna go ahead and make you do something here.
Interesting. Um, yeah, I guess I kind of have to.
That's fine.
And I will be taking that.
Sounds good.
And then with the toad, we're just gonna add himself back.
The toads.
And on that, I believe we're just gonna pass it back over to you.
Top deck harpies.
I'll let that go. Did you really think I was gonna let that go?
That's fair.
No, we'll summon another one. Not quite as good. Still good. Unfortunate, but I guess we're gonna use this for myself.
That's fair.
Here we are hoping there's no analyzer. We're gonna send Toad. And then guess what? That triggers.
Yep, that's fine.
We're gonna take the Ronin Totem back.
Oh, why couldn't that Doki Doki have been a Roxy's? Actual sads. Yeah, I can't do anything right now. Surely you can't kill me in one turn, right?
Well, I don't have access to my extra deck, unfortunately, because of the punishment. So we're gonna set this guy. As much as I really want to get in for 1200, I think it's probably better that I don't. So
That is fair.
we're
That
gonna
is fair.
we're just gonna pass.
Sounds good.
Riveting gameplay. Hope everybody in chat is enjoying the show.
Absolutely. Riveting game.
Another rock. Imagine that.
Just gonna keep throwing rocks at your paleos, man.
I think I'm
Eventually,
gonna just keep getting rid of them.
eventually they'll turn into fossils.
That's
Okay.
how that happens. Just gotta
Well,
get that guy out of here.
this is super awkward again. So, okay, I guess I gotta pass again.
Oh, during your end phase, let's see if we can get some juice.
Let's see it.
That looked like a bunch of purple cards and some frogs.
Let's see your last win. Dupe. Morella.
A whole bunch of dupes in there. Alright. Let's see. We'll set this guy. Now that we've simplified the game state a little bit, this is exactly where I would like to be.
Hit me. Ew.
Let's see if we can get in.
Oh, the 22 is okay.
Unfortunate that I hit all my dupes, but it's all good. It's fine. Just make it to main 2. I think I'm just gonna leave it.
Sounds good.
No point in making a Zeus at this point. Love seeing purple cards. I love letting you see purple cards.
Purple cards all day.
I guess we're summoning a swap, because I don't have any more dupes. Swap triggers. We'll send the other Ronin Totem from deck. Targeting the Doki. Don't like that one bit. We're gonna attempt to negate. And to that, we will chain trap trick.
And what is that going to give you to set from the deck?
Let's banish a Canadia and set another one. We'll be activating the Toad effect.
Does this get you signs? Or no?
No, that's only if he negates. Just when he's sent to graveyard, I can just recycle
add a water.
a water.
Got it.
Weird timing of that. Did not realize that that was going to be the case. Sure. Now on this,
Yeah.
we're gonna put him face down.
That's fair. Yeah, go for it.
Cool. Yeah, sure. During standby phase, I'm gonna put my Canadia back in the grave.
You're not playing Aaron Yeager in this one. No hallucigenia.
I am not. That card is unfortunately very terrible. As much as I like it, I like the shrink effect, but it's just so bad. Sure. I don't see why not. I can just make double Toad here.
Actually disgusting. Oh, just realized Knuckle Impact. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, homie. I just saw that on the mini feed. Sorry about that.
Do we want to up the pressure? Yeah, sure. Why not? We can do more stuff. We'll just get crazy with it.
Dib time.
As if my Toads would not allow you to do that.
Just kidding.
Be worth a try. Let's do this too. We're going battle. Let's go to main 2.
And totally awesome. Isn't once per turn either. So.
It is not. The card is crazy.
Yeah, it's actually insane. And there's the Zeus.
2 Toads and a Zeus. What are you doing?
And a set.
And a set.
Actual monster.
Standby phase. Yes, I would like to chain some cards.
Why did that? Why did that ask me?
Good question.
I don't know. I should have said okay just to see what it would let me do. Just chain Zeus by accident. Just blow up everything.
I am more than capable of doing exactly that. It would not be the first time that I've done something dumb like that.
I always do it whenever I play what's it called? When I'm playing like a Time Thief Redoer, because you have to like for its like take effect, it doesn't automatically do it. It like you have to trigger it in standby and then click the right one, and the amount of times that I've thought it was the right time and clicked to activate it, it just banishes itself. I'm like, well, never mind.
Yeah.
That's well, this is probably game because this is all I have.
I'm gonna let you normal summon that.
Alright, that's okay.
Fortunately, that's as far as I can let you go.
That is fair. That is game, brother. End it with Zeus. It's only fair.
Almost hit activate there. Glad I didn't.
One
I could
more
end it with
turn.
Zeus.
One
What's the
more
point of
turn.
ending it with Zeus when I could end it with our boy Toad?
That's
He's
fair.
the star of the show today.
Totally awesome. Just too good of a card. You heard it here first. GG's, man. GG's.
Yes, sir. Good game.
Good games. All right. So I think Tom said about 9:30 would work for him, which is just what it rolled up to. So chat, what we'll do is we will take about like a 5 minute break. So about 9:35, we'll be back on with our first ban list roundtable. So go get you something to drink, go to the bathroom, etc. Once again, Nick will be joining us for the ban list roundtable, but just for ending out this episode in particular, huge shout outs to Nick for uh, wasting a couple hours on a Monday with someone who's just trying to learn to play. Really awesome dude. For sure, come check him out at our locals. I'll be there. He'll be there. A bunch of the other people in chat will also be there. And yeah, Nick, do you have anything to plug, like YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, anything like that? Anything you want to plug? This is your time now, man.
Unfortunately, I don't have much of a social aspect. Nick Morales on Facebook. You'll see my big dumb face, the same picture as the Discord icon. If you ever see a big brown dude with lots of hair and a beard at locals, come say hi. That's me. I'll hang out with you. We're always doing some cool stuff around there. Like I said before, October 16th, non-meta monthly first tournament. We've got lots of people talking about it. Anybody else who wants to come up, and if you want the custom ban list, it's on our Facebook page at Abilene Yu-Gi-Oh community. And if anybody wants to reach out to me or Jordan directly, we can get that for you so that way you know what you need to build around. We're going for the third Saturday of every month, starting this October. So October 16th, we hope to see you there, and we hope that we just have a crazy amount of people so that way we can get this going hopefully more than once a month if the demand is there.
Yeah, absolutely. Super cool that we still get to have a sanctioned event, but it is more towards not necessarily the casual side, but more towards like the kind of wacky decks that we're gonna see. Like I know that I've been talking to some people, and some people have some really funny ideas for what they're gonna play. And I know that I'm personally like trying to pick up a couple different deck cores, trying to figure out exactly what I'm gonna play. So it's gonna be really refreshing to not, stare down Drytron 8 negates or Revolt, even though I'm the Revolt player, or Virtual World, who we have no idea what any of the cards do. So it's just gonna be really exciting. There's gonna be a lot of learning involved because it's probably gonna be some decks that people have never played against in the competitive sphere. So it's gonna be super awesome. And I would say that I would link the Facebook and stuff to everybody, but pretty sure most of, if not all, the people are already uh, in that group right now. So, Mexican Cowboy, thank you for setting sail with us. We appreciate you. And again, like Nick said, you can find us at the locals. I unfortunately won't be there this weekend. I will actually be going to Dallas to play Epic with some of my buddies. So it'll be a fun time. But yeah, we look forward to seeing you. If you're new, if you're shy about coming out to locals, don't be. I hope this stream and these episodes have really helped you out with just seeing that we're not trying to gatekeep here in Abilene, especially. I know in Odessa as well, they're really good about taking new players under their wings and helping them out, helping them get cards, helping them like just do like theory crafting and deck building and stuff like that. And so, especially with these two communities, I've really seen that we're not trying to gatekeep. We're really trying to, we're playing a children's card game. There's no reason why we should be jerks about it, and we just want people to have fun. So, I feel like Nick and Zach and David, the three people I've had so far, have been excellent examples of that. And, you know, uh, that's what I'm hoping to get out of all my guests. So, again, we will be back here in a few minutes with our first ban list roundtable, and we look forward to seeing you guys then. Later. All right, what is up, guys? This is our first episode of Banlist Roundtable. The reason why one of my friends actually told me that I should do a banlist video, anyways, just because one, it's nice to get some views over talking about stupid cardboard ban list. But the reason why I wanted to get some guests on was because I feel like with a lot of ban list videos, especially the ones you're going to see on YouTube, a lot of them are just one person, like very echo chamber esque, looking at the ban list, giving their takes, and then kind of being like, all right, peace out, guys, and leaving people to just kind of debate in the comments. Whereas this, we get to have more of a discussion about what we liked, what we didn't like, what we hoped to have seen, what we're glad got hit. And so today, for our first episode, we have Nick, who we just finished filming our episode with. And we also have Tom. Nick, go ahead and start us off with the introductions, and then Tom, you go ahead and go next.
Hey, it's Nick. Not much to say. Still here, still dirty, still a control player, riding the high off of the win with the Paleo against the Adamant Spader Prank Kids.
Yes, absolutely. Just rub it in my face again. But I knew that water beat rock, so I guess I can't be surprised. And go ahead, Tom.
I guess I'm Tom. I'm affiliated with Team Golden Age. I essentially I help the old man Adam run the team out here in West Texas. We're based out of Odessa. Um, I guess you could check our YouTube page out. You'll see a lot of Orcus deck profiles about me. That's just my favorite deck. But I guess I like to have a lot of fun, do a little bit of vending on the side. So know a little bit about card games.
Absolutely. And I have definitely, on the vending side of it, I know I have bought probably so much cardboard crack from Tom, it's actually insane. I will link not only the Golden Age stuff, but if you need any cards or are looking for any cards and you don't want to like pay the ridiculous like shipping or like waiting 10,000 weeks to get stuff from TCG Player, ask me and I'll ask Tom and see if he's got stuff for you. So, yeah. All right. Getting into the ban list. First of all, I want to know just kind of in a few short words your initial reaction when you first saw the ban list, and now that we've been able to sit on it for roughly about 12 hours or so, what your thoughts are now. Tom, go ahead and start us off, and then Nick, we'll get you right after.
Um, I guess my initial reaction just was they didn't really do a whole lot. Um, I mean, I guess we'll probably break down everything card by card, but I just really didn't think they did much, and a lot of things that they did was not surprising. I think it was I guess a safe ban list in that sense of form, but yeah, I really didn't feel like they did much. And looking at it, I don't think the format's honestly really all that different from the last one.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just kind of some consistency hits maybe, but like other than that, Nick, if you want to kind of chime in on that side.
Sure. So generally, I'm gonna agree. They didn't really do anything at all. But I think that it was kind of a surprise to me. A couple of the hits in general, the barrage hit was weird. The E-Telly being slightly released was weird. And we'll get into that whenever we get into those cards. But I think that it was just strange more than anything. The theme for when I was going through the list myself was why. Why did they do what they did in the way that they did? Not necessarily in the scope of things, but in the way that they decided to address these specific decks.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that I was talking to Nathaniel Davis, one of the guys in the Abilene group chat. I think he's also a Tri Brigade player, or he does play it sometimes with me. And we kind of had a kind of comment section talk with because I think he posted like, let's randomly murder Zodiac Barrage, and I kind of was saying, just in terms of the Tri Brigade list, and we can go ahead and start off with Zodiac since it's our only forbidden card. So basically, what I was saying on my end is it kind of made sense. Like I do agree that it is kind of odd, but I've been playtesting this week in anticipation of going to Epic, and I've been playing against a lot of Zodiac Tri Brigade, and it Zodiac Tri Brigade just seemed to get you to your Farajit very easy to get an additional special summon without having to commit your normal summon whatsoever. So if you're going first, you get into Ferrogy, into probably a Karas, or literally anything, really. And you can kind of full combo off of there without having to have your normal summon negated or have something happen to your normal summon. So if they do stop you at Ferrogy or after Ferrogy or on your special summon, then you still have your normal summon to follow up and immediately kind of just keep doing the combo, and you even have fodder in your graveyard. So it kind of made sense to me, just from the surface level perspective. But I'm kind of thinking y'all's thoughts on it.
Sure. So I guess I'll start this out. Um, Barrage specifically was the weird one to me. I've got very polarizing takes on the ban list, and I'm not a fan of hitting the things around the issue. I'm more of a fan of the way that the OCG approaches the list, where they see a problem card over time after they've made their money off of it and it's terrorized everybody for a while, and then they just get rid of it. I would have liked to see the same thing happen with Tri Brigade. This is now three cards that are suffering for Tri Brigade's mistakes, and it's Barrage, Drident, and now Tenki. Um, I don't think that Tri Brigade necessarily needed to get a big hit right now, but I would have liked to have seen a more targeted hit than having other decks suffer.
Yeah, that's definitely fair. Tom, I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Zeus go Burr.
Zeus go Burr. Well, not anymore.
Yeah, I think
They
that
go
was just.
burn.
I think that was the biggest thing about that hit is it now prevents Tri Brigade from essentially uh, having the freest of free Zeuses. It's I can expend all my resources. You know, if I open a normal summon, then I have Karis with a discard. Okay, cool. I baited everything out, and then I'm just gonna activate Barrage and just drop Zeus on the board. So I think that's really the only reason they hit Barrage. Um, it's a bit of a check to Tri Brigades, but I think Tri Brigade now just all completely shifts away from the Zoo build and goes back to Cat, which I
Mhm.
think with the addition of Cross That Designator and the Megatons actually becomes stronger because you already played cards like you play Gamma, that deck plays Ash Blossom. You could play things like Effect Veiler, Imperm in Tri Brigade. So I think that version actually gets a little bit of a bump and is probably the play moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And kind of just thoughts on I didn't really know as a Tri-Brigade player how I felt about this. I mean, I don't personally play the Zoo package mainly because I don't have it. I am gonna play it at Epic. I'm getting the cards to play it. But how you said it was kind of a bump, it kind of makes sense because in essence you're taking cards out of the deck, and so you're just opening up free space for other things. So I know some people were already playing the Zodiac and the Cat engine. Now they can just strictly shift to the Cat engine and play more disruptions in the forms of like hand traps, like the imperms, the veilers, and stuff like that. And then once Crossout Designator comes out, like it hits the deck, but only Zodiac Tri Brigade. Now it can switch to a more pure build, and you're just giving it more real estate to play around disruption with.
Yeah, and actually a few weeks ago at locals, I decided to just I was playing the Tri-Zoo build, and I was just bored, and so I threw together a cat build that didn't play Zeus, and like that deck was still perfectly fine. That deck only lost two tankies, but you could just replace it with two cross-out designators, and then you just find room for one more card, and pretty much your standard cat build
Mhm.
is looking almost exactly the same, except minus obviously tankies.
Someone in the chat said they took out cards from Tri-Zoo to fit room for Crossout Designator Smile. Yep, sounds about right. Nick, do you have any further thoughts on Zodiac Tri Brigade before we move on to the next couple cards?
Yeah, the only other thing is like Tom said, that it was just a really good bait card for to not necessarily a bait card, but to use after your baits. You use your normal summon, it gets negated. You go for Karas, it gets negated. Sure, now I'm just gonna activate Barrage. You have to have the third, or I'm just gonna make full combo anyways. So it essentially lets you take three cards out of your hand. So I understand it, but I would have liked to have seen a more targeted hit.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fair. And as a Tri Brigade player, I really hope that they don't hit like any of the main deck monsters, but we'll talk more about that here in a minute. So now, chat, we're gonna move from the only forbidden. We can say goodbye to Zodiac Barrage until Konami decides they don't hate Zodiac cards, and now we will swap over to the forbidden or sorry, the limited. So on the limited list, if you didn't see, we have Ava or Eva, however you want to say it. It doesn't matter. We have Prank Kids Meow Meow, and we have Fire Formation Tenki. We'll go ahead and start off with Ava, just because it's kind of. I personally don't like the card, so we'll start off with that and kind of go. So, Nick, go ahead and give me your thoughts on the Ava hit.
Sure. So, I'm going to give you my perspective as a Drytron player. I've got the whole deck. I've got most of it maxed out. It doesn't do enough. Like it's kind of just making the deck quote unquote fair. Now I have two, sometimes three Omni Negates rather than four, sometimes six. And Ava's cool. Like it's fine. There are a lot of builds that I've seen people are talking about cutting Beatrice because of it. So it makes more space in the extra deck. It's making more space in the main deck. People are talking about they wanted to play Called By, or they wanted to play an extra copy of this or that. And it's fine. I wish that it wouldn't have been hit because I was a big agent player when I was a kid, and Ava searches your agent cards, especially with the new guys coming out. And I would have loved to have seen it stick around at three, so that way we could abuse it a little bit with that. But it doesn't do enough. It's not meant to do enough. It was just there as a proxy hit to kind of give Drytron a little bit of a love tap.
Okay, so I like my heart dropped for half a second whenever you said it didn't do enough, and I thought you were talking about Drytron in general. I was about to say, hold on. I was like, you cannot tell me like the four guaranteed pretty much negates for literally anything not once per turn didn't do enough. And then you kind of as you fleshed out your point, I was like, oh okay, he's talking about the Ava hit, not about the deck in general. I was about to say, I was like, hold on, time out.
Yeah, for sure. I'm a little bit biased, but I'm not that biased. I understand the deck is not very fun for people to play against. I'm more a fan of doing wacky stuff like going for Ava on your turn so that you can get your extra two negates, and then on the opponent's turn going for Necroworld Banshee to set up a zombie world, and then your opponent just kind of sits there with their mouth hanging open and doesn't know what to do. That's the kind of stuff that I like.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, Tom, what do you think about the Ava hit?
Pretty much the same. Like a lot of people I talk to is like, you played one or you played two, and pretty much it's like, I don't know, just almost not like it really does anything. Um, I honestly thought that card was going to get banned, but I think Drytron in a vacuum is the best deck. It's got the highest ceiling in the format, but it also just loses to itself so often.
That's fair.
So I guess that's a fair point. Like it loses to itself enough,
It
but
breaks enough to where Konami's like, it's fine.
yeah, but it's still something that I feel
Yeah,
like if you go to an event, you have to respect it because, if enough people play Drytron, then it's going to be the best deck in the room. So
right.
it's a super interesting deck because I feel like it's not very often that the deck with the highest ceiling or the most powerful isn't as like, it's not super well represented simply because it does brick so often.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
usually those decks are super well represented. If you go to an event, you have to prepare.
Mhm.
But like I said, I think Drytron's got the highest ceiling of the format, but you can completely avoid it because there's a lot of people that don't play it because of just how hard it can lose to itself sometimes.
Highest ceiling, lowest floor, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just the reason that Try Zoo was so good is it was just so consistent. And honestly, to me in this game, consistency is pretty much king.
Right.
Just how quickly can you get to your win condition? And Tri Brigade Zoo did that insanely well.
Mhm.
But
Uh, so moving on to the next card, Prank Kids Meow Meow. We actually have someone in chat saying I thought the bird was going to get hit from Prank Kids, and I've actually seen this opinion float around on a lot of the ban list stuff that I've been kind of looking at, and so I'm kind of curious. Tom, we'll start off with you with the Meow Meow. What do you feel about the Meow Meow hit? What do you think it was meant to do, and do you think that it is doing that effectively, or it's going to do it effectively?
um, I honestly made a joke earlier in a group chat of mine, and it's almost like Prank Kids got hurt the most out of any deck on this list because Tri Brigade loses a little bit consistency with Tanky going to 1, and then without the zoos, you just switch over to Cat. Eva at 1 is almost non-existent, and then I'm just trying to look at the rest of the list real quick. I mean, E-Telly to 2 helps Virtual World brick a little bit less. Like those are the only like major shifts. So I think Prank Kids actually got hurt the worst. So like Meow Mew is the card that makes it a relevant deck, but only having it at 1, it loses all of its recovery if you use it to resolve a Butler, uh, resolve Butler twice, or
Mhm.
you can't resolve Butler twice, and in order to have a recovery play. So it really makes you as a Prank Kids player have to consider: do I want to set up something next turn in case something happens, or do I want to have a double Raigeki? But if you do anything, you could just lose like a blowout card and you have 0 recovery. So I think that actually was like the biggest hit to any of the deck was actually Meow getting hit.
Okay, that's actually interesting. As an Animancipator Print Kids player, I completely forgot about the whole, the double Raigeki basically. Because when I saw this, I was thinking, I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if you just play Print Kid Pranks, then you can recycle it back into the extra deck and you have it, in a future, for a future turn. But like you're saying, if you want to have that double Raigeki that Battle Butler provides, then you have to banish this. And so I mean, I'm sure there might be a card out there somewhere that lets you recycle a banished card back in, but still, that's so far out of the way. I feel like from the normal Prank Kids like combo and what they want to facilitate in their deck, that yeah, you as a Prank Kids player, you have to think now.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, Prank Kids wasn't a deck other than the YCS top because nobody knew what it did. Like the deck didn't do anything until the card came out. So that's how powerful of a card it is. And if they were to hit Doodle Doo, I feel like you'd have to ban that card, um, rather than just put it at 1. But like I think Meow Mew at 1, like the deck is still certainly playable. It's still certainly really good deck, but I think it's a much more fragile deck because if you just hand trap the first Prankton now and they have this thing sitting on the board, it's kind of like what do they do? They have no recovery next turn now.
Right. It's like what are our options here? Okay. Nick, what are your thoughts?
So with the prank kids hit, I was elated to see this. I am so tired of seeing prank kids. I hate the deck. I think that it is just one of the most annoying decks to play against. And at first, I didn't think that this hit was going to do a whole lot. And then I started thinking about it more. That I think more so than the double Raigeki, I think that it's a much bigger hit to consistency because the thing about Prank Kid before was even if they set up the double Raigeki and you manage to break the board or you manage to negate it, you open up a droplets, whatever. If you don't kill them that turn, they're just going to do it again next turn. Their turn
Right.
3 was insanely strong, and now they don't have that turn 3 potential anymore. And I'll tell you, even in the Facebook groups, I've seen Prank Kids players are malding so hard, and I love it. If you're a Prank Kids player, I feel no sympathy for you. I hope that you play your Nemesis monsters to get your cat back in the extra deck, and I am going to just let you banish it again, and I'm going to quietly enjoy that. That's it.
Some very strong opinions on Prank Kids. I understand a little bit. Just playing it with the Emancipator thing. I wanted to play Emancipator and I thought it was really cool. And I played against someone and they had online and they played the Prank Kids Emancipator build. And I started out with just the Doodle Doo and just kind of ending on that for a Link 3. And then, I looked at some of the other cards and I was like, I can supplement these one card like starters in my deck and then end with a double Raigeki. That's insane. And, for me, in my deck, like I only played one of each. So if either one of them got disrupted, it was just like, oh, I can't have a double Raigeki. Whatever, it's fine. I still have my Animancipator board perfectly fine. It was just kind of a supplement. So for me, that's not that big of a hit. But I understand for Prankage players now, it's like, yeah, like you said, and like I've heard, their turn 3 board, like after you break it, if you can manage to like either negate it or just survive the double Raigeki, then like what option did I have now? Like what they have to do some like crazy stuff to try to get 2 on board to go back into Doodle to try to like get some other thing. They don't have like the okay, I just need one prank kid and I'm golden. I can build it all again. So yeah, absolutely. Meow Meow does seem like the problem card just because it like shot it up to tier 1 contention like as soon as it came out in Phantom Rage. So I definitely see how the why the Prank Kids players are kind of molding in the group chats. So all right,
And
cool.
don't get me wrong. Sorry, one more thing on that. Don't get me
Go for it.
wrong. The Adamantipator Prank Kid deck is based as all hell. That deck is so cool. I love it.
Take this.
Adamantipator was really lame back in the day, but now it's super cool with the Prank Kid stuff. But pure Prank Kids, I hope that they all get banned one day. That would be really cool. It'd put a smile on my face.
Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. All right. The last of the limited section, Fire Formation Tenki. Yet another hit to the Tri Brigade consistency. But, Nick, I want to hear your thoughts.
I don't have much to say about Tinky. I think that this is a long time coming. It's essentially reinforcements of the army. All of those cards end up on the limited list at some point. Tinky, I believe, was at 2 at one point and then got brought back to 3. I don't know if it ever hit 1. It's probably the bigger hit of the two to Tri Brigade because you can't search Fractal all the time now. But realistically, I don't think that it matters that much, and I think that all the Tri Brigade players were just waiting for this to happen. I feel bad for you if you're playing Ancient Warriors or something cool like Luna Light, but I don't think Tri Brigade players are going to be too upset about it.
Right, absolutely. Tom, curious on your thoughts before I chime in with mine.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was the most obvious like hit to the list like ever, or at least on this list. Was like everybody knew that Tanky was gonna go to 1. I think all the Tri Brigade players are like okay with that because you lose your consistency in searching for Fractal, but the deck is still certainly playable. I mean, I think I touched on it before. It's just I think now they just go back to a cat build, and you just take out 2 tanky and one other card, and you get to just play 3 cross out designator with all the hand traps you already played. So I think that deck is going to be super super strong moving forward. All, all all the Rhoda cards deserve at some point probably to be hit because they're just all busted.
Yeah, absolutely. Just kind of my thoughts on this. Whenever we were talking about like the impending ban list, I know I was talking to you and to Ryan and a couple other people about it, and I honestly thought that they either weren't going to touch Tri Brigade in any sense, not necessarily because of like how popular it is, but I think as just kind of having some bias as a Tri Brigade player, I think it's probably a pretty fair deck. Like it can be stopped if you draw. I hate to say like just draw the outs forehead, but kind of basically it can die to a lot of different things. And so I didn't really know what they were gonna hit, but I did say I was like, if they are gonna hit anything, it's probably gonna be Tinky. They're not gonna hit any of like the main cards like the Fractal Kit, Nerval, Bearbrum, any of that. Uh, I was kind of skeptical about Omen, maybe semi limit or limit it, but I mean, again, it can get stopped very easy. So I was kind of like you said, with along with the other Tri Brigade players, just kind of expecting the Fire Formation Tinky. The thing why I don't think this is a very big hit whatsoever is because now you can kind of just play like the people who are already playing Pot of Desires. Now it just like it's better because you can take out like if you banish your one Tinky, then it doesn't matter. Versus if Fire Formation Tinky was still at 3 and they limited Revolt instead, you would either have to be the biggest gambler in your life or just not play Desires to play Desires in Tri Brigade. Because if you banish your one Revolt, like yeah, the deck still does things, but Revolt is what makes like that deck do things on your opponent's turn and makes it so powerful with the Omen and then just all the advantage you gain off of summoning and then sending everything and getting all of their effects in grave again. So I again kind of mimicking what y'all are saying. I don't really think this does a whole lot. Like yeah, it hits consistency, but just play desires and cross out designator, and you're gonna do the exact same things pretty much. And it kind of makes me worry as a Tri Brigade player for the future because, like you said, it's probably like it just pivots to a different build and it's gonna continue to be strong, and so that makes me fearful of if we do get a crucifixion list in January, like what are they gonna do to my deck? I'm nervous. I really think that honestly, really and truly, it could just be like the Tenki semi limit or limit, and I would be fine with that in that case. I just wouldn't play desires. So yeah, I'm curious.
I think with that, especially in January, like I think that really the only hit that Tri Brigade really needs to get is Revolt to 1. Revolt is the power card. It's the problem card in most matchups. If you resolve Revolt one time, you're gonna win because you're going like +3 um, for the cost of a trap card that you're setting, and then God forbid you drew a second one,
Right.
then it doesn't matter. It's a wrap at that point. Um, but yeah, like I think that the limited section could have done a lot more. Harp Horror could have came back. I hate to say it, but I'm so desperate for some kind of shakeup in the meta. Like bring back Colossus. I hate the card. I don't think that it's healthy, but if it's gonna give us some more diversity in the meta, bring it back.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, moving on to the semi-limited list. We will start off with the Danger Nessie. To be honest, I didn't play when Dangers came out. Don't I don't know what this one's hand or like discard effect is.
It
So I
it
don't.
searches.
Okay, it searches. So yeah, thoughts on this? I don't really have any opinions on the Danger Nessie stuff.
So with the
I think the
dangers,
danger stuff's just been. Go
sorry.
ahead.
Go. Okay. So with the dangerous things, like I honestly think that they could all come back to 3, and I don't think that it would be that big of an issue. They were a problem when Firewall Dragon was around and some kind of Dark World deck going around that was kind of crazy. It was an FTK, and then with Slash Draw, and they facilitated deep draw decks, which is kind of cool, I guess. I don't really like sitting across the table and waiting for 20 minutes for somebody to just say, "All right, I'm going to burn you for 8K." But the dangers are cool, and I think that they promote a different style of gameplay that has some kind of risk reward. Although with all of them at 3, it doesn't lean on the risk side; it leans more to the reward side. But I think that they could come back to 3, and it would be cool. It would shake things up. I don't think that it's too big of an issue.
Okay, Tom.
I mean, there's some decks that might play this, but I don't think it's gonna make too much of an impact. Simply because there are just no good like wombo combo decks right now, except maybe like Dragon Link builds or something like that, or like maybe Adamantimators. I feel like Konami's kind of checked the wombo combo decks to the point that Nessie at 2 is fine because um, I mean really the best things that it searches out are still at 1. So and it can't search itself, so it's like why would you play 2? So now you have to play a bigger danger package.
Mhm.
It's still super cool and it would be like really cool to shake up the meta. Um, but I don't think it's going to make a huge impact. You might see some lists that are playing a couple of the extra copy now, but beyond that, I don't think there's too much that's really going to actually play it.
Juan in chat said, "Earth Machines, baby, let's go." All right.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, I really don't have any kind of bearing on the Danger Nessie stuff. I think it'll be interesting to see if anything happens. But what I've seen a lot of people say with the limited list, and I'm more tending to agree, is it's more of like the quarantine zone for cards. They like put cards in there and they're like, okay, let's see if anything happens. Like, does it break something or does it like do absolutely nothing? If it does absolutely nothing, okay, cool, we can just move it back to 3. If like having 2 copies of something breaks something, okay, we'll just move it back to 1. So the semi-limited list is kind of whatever. But going on to the next one, Perform Pal Skull Crabrat Joker to 2. I heard on a video earlier today. I think it was on Farfa's stream. He was talking to MBT, and they were playing in like some Yugi Tuber like big remote duel tournament or whatever. And they said that Triff's game actually got delayed because he was driving to some local shop somewhere to pick up his extra copy of Skull Crobat. So I know he's hyped for this. I'm curious on y'all's thoughts if it will do anything for Pin Best deck. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was watching that live, and that definitely did happen. There was a point where Drift called Joseph and he was like, "Hey man, I'm in the car. I'm on my way home. I had to go get an extra Joker and an extra double Iris. I'm sweating from running, but I'll be there soon." It was pretty comedic, but I don't know. I think that Pendulum players are kind of huffing the copium, and I know my brother in chat's gonna get mad at me for saying this, but honestly, like you can give Pendulum back whatever you want as long as Electromite stays banned, and I'd be fine with that. I think most players would probably be fine with that. We haven't seen a Pendulum deck top or do anything in the longest time. I absolutely hate Pendulum, but give them 3 Joker, give them 4 double Iris if they want it. They can have it. Just don't bring back Electromite.
The only deck that's allowed to play 4 copies of a or 4 copies of a card.
Yeah, they
Tom,
can have it. That's
yeah.
fine.
Tom, curious on your thoughts about Skull Combat.
Do you want the long answer or the short answer?
Give me the medium answer.
Um, absolutely nothing.
Got it. Cool. All right. Hey, I mean that works. It like I said, I didn't really play during this format. I just know like this is apparently a crazy card, I guess, and semi
This
limit maybe might not do anything. So
So back in the day, this card was nuts. It doesn't search, like, what does it search that just makes perform or the pendulum deck just broken? Like it searches performa pow cards, which like back in the day got you your monkey board, which got you like lizard draw, get turtle, and all of a sudden you just started going plus like 12. But with like monkey board out of the game for as long as it's been, and I just don't see it searching anything that's relevant enough to have to really worry about Skullcrobat Joker coming back.
yeah, okay, that's totally fair. All right, so the one that I was kind of very surprised about, and I know that I like kind of popped off a little bit as a Cosmo player and a eventual mutant player as well. I saw the emergency teleport and I was like, let's go. Emergency teleport to 2. I'm curious your thoughts. Tom, we'll go ahead and start off with you.
So I guess this is Konami saying they want to see a little bit more virtual world in the format. Because it's really the only like meta deck that would definitely play it.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, the only other deck I think I've seen Telly played in, and ooh, I don't know, since it got limited, is maybe Phantom Knights because you play the Wielder stuff.
Okay, yeah.
And 1 copy of Ghost Ogre, so maybe Phantom Knights gets a little bit of a consistency boost with another level 3. Um, but really, it's just a little bit of a boost to Virtual World. It's been a long time since Italy was at anything other than 1. And pretty much it went to 1 because of Cosmos, and Cosmos I don't think is doing anything unless it's got something
Hey, hey,
something
hey,
crazy
hey.
comes back out.
I will not take any Cosmo slander on this channel, okay? But
Hey,
yeah,
I love that deck. I've got 2 OG rarity cores chilling at home. I love that deck. That was one of my first actual meta decks I ever played. I just don't think that deck can. There's too many outs to Dark Destroyer anymore, which is very sad.
Sag. But yeah, absolutely. When are we getting our link monster? By the way, Konami, come on. I know you got it. I know you got it somewhere. Give me that link monster. But yeah, definitely agree with you on the virtual world stuff. I know that I was kind of blinded by the copium of mutants and cosmos, but yeah, it just seems like virtual world got a hit, or sorry, a consistency boost. And Nick, I'm curious. I'm curious your thoughts on that.
Yeah, this is the one where I actually take issue with this list, because I don't like this when Konami kind of plays favorites, and I don't know, maybe this is me being biased, but this reminds me a lot of one of the lists, one of the many lists where they hit everything in the meta except for Dragon Link, and they just left Dragon Link alone, and it took a year plus for us to get a meaningful Dragon Link hit. And this is kind of the same thing, except for it seems more bold-faced. Yeah, Juan, I see you there, our local resident virtual world player. They hit everything, even if it was just small hits. They hit Tri Brigade, Drytron, Prank Kid, and then they just said, "Here you go, VW. You can have another card." Like, why? I mean, let the deck brick. It's fine. Every deck needs to brick sometimes. If you have a deck that's too consistent, the deck ends up being too good. E-Telly did not need to come back to 2. Like the card can come back when Virtual World is no longer in the meta, and then give them consistency boost. But I hate when they do stuff like this. This is actually the only thing that I was a little bit mad about, because I don't like the lean. It just reminds me of Dragon Link, and that puts a bit of a bad taste in my mouth. But I guess Virtual World players can have their fun for the next 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. I tried to play Dragon Link for a little bit, kind of had like a budget version of it, just because all you really need is the LP and the Pisty and stuff like that. And then I kind of was just like, whatever. But yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think I'm more salty, like talking about this. I'm more salty now, just because this means that I'm probably gonna have to actually read Virtual World cards now, and I just graduated from grad school like a month or two ago. I'm tired of reading. I really don't want to have a PhD just to read this stupid deck. But one, I guess if I see you at locals and you're playing Virtual World before the thing starts, you're just gonna have me let me have to read your like stupid book of card text. But yeah, I agree that it does kind of seem fishy that Konami just was like, we'll hit everything else, even if it was kind of indirectly with like we talked about with the Ava hit, with the Tenki Zodiac Barrage hit, and but it's like, oh, Virtual World, we're not gonna touch anything. We're gonna give you some consistency. Have fun. So I definitely understand. All right. And now, last but not least, the unlimited list. We have double Iris Magician again. Triff is probably somewhere losing his mind. He's really like in the basement, like hotboxing on copium. Just trying to figure out the best possible way to break pendulums. And who knows? If there's anybody to break pendulums, it's probably Triff. So I'm curious on y'all's thoughts. What do you well if you about this card? Why was this card even banned or limited or semi-limited in the first place? I didn't play during this era, so I guess someone tell me a reason why it was like really good and why it doesn't really mean anything anymore now.
I know back in the day it searched something out. I honestly don't even remember like double Iris's effect because I think that's just how low impact this card's gonna be on the meta coming back at 3.
Okay.
So all this card really did back in the day was it searched you essentially a pop two. Back in Spiral format when they first got Double Helix, the only other decent deck was Pendulum. I was playing it at the time. My brother was playing it. We went to, I believe it was a YCS down in Fort Worth, and like 5 of our group of like 7 were all playing Pendulum. We were basically playing the same list. Shout out to my brother for pilling me on Zark. That card is based. The rest of Pendulum I don't care for. Double Iris, like I said before, can come back to 4. Time Pendulum Graph is not that big of a deal anymore. But what it would do is you would set up Time Star Magician, which is their Xyz monster, and Time Pendulum Graph. Time Pendulum Graph is essentially Scrap Dragon, destroys a monster or a card on both sides. And with Time Star Magician, you can save your card, and then Time Pendulum Graph says if you did not destroy 2 cards with this effect, you can non-targeting send a card from the field to the graveyard. So it was really strong back then, but honestly now I don't think that it's going to do anything. Overdose on all the copium you want. You Pendulum players can have it.
Uh, hey, well, if there's anybody overdosing on copium besides Orcus players, it's probably Pen players. So, and I think Triff holds the market monopoly on penned copium. So that is it for the forbidden and limited list. Again, some of the things I was hearing is it was kind of pretty safe. There were some hits as thinking on it more, like they're a little bit more meaningful than first impression. But again, I'm kind of in the similar boat where it did seem pretty safe, and it was surprising that there really wasn't a lot of like big shifts. I think again that we'll get that in January. Um, so just moving on to this little last segment here, what were some of the things that y'all wanted to see off or on the ban list? And we can kind of just do like a rapid fire. For me personally, I wish we would have just followed the OCG format, and I wish we would have just banned Mystic Mine. I'm just tired of playing against it, period. I haven't played against it luckily in person, but just anytime I go to like try to test a deck on literally any Yu-Gi-Oh simulator, I feel like I always get paired up against Mystic Mine slash random alternative win condition, and it's just so upsetting and annoying. And then someone in chat, I agree with you completely on the dragoon stuff. I was really surprised that we didn't see a dragoon hit whatsoever. Like I originally had said Verte, but with the Doom, Destiny Doom, whatever Phoenix Enforcer person, I could see why they don't want to hit Verte because you basically can easily get into that similar to Dragoon. So I'm surprised we didn't see a Dragoon hit of some kind. And so I'm kind of interested on your thoughts on how much longer do you feel like Dragoon is going to be allowed to terrorize people?
Tom, would you like to go first on this one?
Um, I guess so. I don't think I see Dragoon as big of a problem as a lot of people. Um, as much as I think Mystic Mine and Dragoon are problem cards, but like I'm kind of okay with them being in the game because they're kind of annoying. I think Mystic Mine's less healthy for the game than Dragoon is. Um, simply because of the Mystic Mine burn deck. But that's a different story for a different day, I think. But I mean, I'm kind of okay with those cards, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
What would you have liked to either see on the list or something come off of the list?
Um, honestly, um, I think this is a little biased. I would love to have Harpor back in the game.
That's fair. I agree.
As somebody who inhales more Orcus copium than most other human beings ever have, that card turns Gearsu into a one card full combo with Orcus, which ends your board with Rusty Bardish, double Fog Blades, Loaded Graveyard, IP Masquerena, and a Live Babble off of just one card. Um, I would have loved to have seen that. And then I also like Chaos. I think it's been long enough that kids these days don't understand the Maxi challenge, and I think it would have been the time for it to come back with everything being remote. That if you, I think Konami has played it too safe since COVID with their lists. Like, there's no real in-person events for people to complain about. Like, they should have had some fun. Like, this would have been the time to, unleash like something crazy onto the format, like Maxi or Colossus, Harpor. I mean, we already got Engage back, but there's so many like good cards. They should just like let off the list, even if it's for just a format, just to make things interesting. Like, while nobody's like really playing like in-person Yu-Gi-Oh. I think that would have been something cool.
Yeah, definitely interesting that, with Yu-Gi-Oh, kind of everyone complains about everything all the time anyways. You know, we're not able to play in person, so screw it. Just unlimit just some random cards and just be like, here, decks who haven't done anything in a while, have fun. Like you said, we got Engaged last list, we got Mirage Delio last list. Like, where's the where's the Colossus? Where's the Harpor? Like, just give us back like just those stuff from Eternal format. So, Nick, curious on your thoughts. What would you have liked to see on the list? What would you have liked to come off the list?
Sure. So you want to talk about overdosing on copium? I'm going to bring you the most copium that you could have. I've got some out there thoughts about the ban list. Some reserved thoughts that aren't going to surprise anybody. Like I think Hardcore can come back and that'd be fine. I would like to see some Orcus in the meta again. But if you want to talk about some stuff that I think could come back that probably will never come back, like Fairy Tale Snow, I love that card. I'm a Lightsworn player. Max C can come back to 3. It would be awesome. Let's see, what else was I thinking about earlier? Gumblar Dragon was really cool. Can't ever come back, but shout out to that card. Lunalight Tiger could be at 3, and the deck would be really cool. Lunalights are very cool. But the biggest one for me is Trickstar Light Stage. I really love I really love getting the reincarnation drone lock loop on people, and I love seeing people just die inside when they search their first card of the turn, and then you just banish their whole hand and they get nothing out of it. It just makes me happy, and shout out to Grass, that card can come back too. But Trickstar Light Stage, man, I just want to play Trickstar again, and I just want people to not have fun when they get reincarnation looped. It was a good time.
I know Tom said like throw some spice, throw a little bit of chaos in the format, but what you just described sounded like absolute anarchy. Like let's just burn the list to the ground, let everything come back.
Yeah, so there's a lot of stuff that I want to come back. Of course, there are some things that can never come back, like Butterfly Dagger and probably something like Cyberjar Block Dragon. Of course, I want Halqifibrax to get banned because we have, I believe it's now 6 cards that are on the forbidden list because of Halqifibrax, and I hate that. Like I said earlier, I'd rather them just hit the problem card and not hit everything around it. But yeah, like I generally think that we could take like 40 cards off of the forbidden and limited list, and things would be very fine and very cool. And we wouldn't have these like triangle formats anymore. We would actually have cool stuff going on. I just want people to be able to play creative things.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely understand what you're talking about with the you kind of have like the three kind of top decks and they kind of all revolve just based on like the small hits that they give and like kind of like the little like nudges that I was about to say Riot because I'm so used to talking about league balancing, but Yu-Gi-Oh, Konami, what they just kind of nudge in between. So yeah, well, that concludes it basically for our ban list roundtable discussion. I want to thank both of you guys for coming on, Nick, especially because you've been doing this for almost 2 hours now with our episode before and then our roundtable discussion. Tom, I know you have a super busy schedule, so I just want to especially thank you as well for making time for this round table discussion. I hope to kind of make this a series as long as along with my other one, so that invitation is kind of open for the next band list. If you two want to join me again, or if y'all know other people who want to join me again, or maybe get kind of like a rotating schedule of people in. I think that would be super cool. Again, the reasoning why I wanted to do it this way is there's a lot of a lot of back and forth. There were some similar takes, some different takes. Y'all kind of helped me understand a little bit better why this list was well received by some, and for others it was kind of like whatever. So again, shout out to both of you guys for coming through and just taking this time to come hang out, talk about the band list, and pray to copium gods that they do something with the next band list. Tom, do you have anything that you would like to add or say or plug?
Like to plug the Team Golden Age, out here in Odessa. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. We have a bunch of different weird deck profiles. I've been talking about Orcust all night. I've got a bunch of Orcust deck profiles, so if you like Copium, it's the place to be. Um, and if you're in West Texas, join us in the Facebook group, West Texas Yu-Gi-Oh! Just make sure you answer the questions to get into the group because the old man that gatekeeps the members will not be pleased if you don't answer the questions, and he will say no.
That's fair. All right. I will again underneath in the comment section of both of the posts in both the respective groups. I will link the Team Golden Age YouTube page. And Nick, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
For sure. I would just like to say, like, thanks for having me on. It's been great. Love to be back. I think that this is really good for shining some light on the West Texas scene that might not get seen so very often. Not everything's bad down here in Texas. We play some Yu-Gi-Oh, and it's pretty cool. Check out Abilene Yu-Gi-Oh community on Facebook. Like I said before, we're doing a custom ban list tournament, non-meta monthly, starting on October 16th. We're going for the third Saturday of every month. So come check it out. It's super cool. I can give Jordan the list for the ban list that we're going to be doing. We're hoping to see a big turnout for this, so that way we can have our hosts, the Gathering Place, host us more often. Right now, we're just starting out at once a month, and hopefully we can get more demand for it. It's going to be super awesome. Everybody's going to have a lot of fun. I know I'm going to be playing something really stupid and cool. So I hope that everybody else brings out their favorite jank decks and has a good time.
Absolutely. And for those of you in Abilene, our locals are Tuesdays and Saturdays. I believe Saturdays are at 6:30. And then what time is Tuesday locals?
Tuesdays are at 6.
Tuesdays are at 6. Okay. And then for those of you who might be wanting to go to the Odessa locals, as far as I'm aware, is it only on Friday, Tom?
It's Fridays at 7:30 at Patriot Games. We do throw a lot of other events. We try something, once a month we might, get together a 3 box tournament or some kind of half case. We try to mix things up, and so yeah, just join the Facebook group. We make all the announcements over there, but we try to keep things interesting out in West Texas. Um, Sometimes there's locals on Sundays, but it's way too hit or miss because it's Sunday and a lot of people like to spend the day with family. So, um, but Fridays is the night to go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I will say, as being kind of part of both of these communities, that again, if there's any reservations that you have of going to locals because you're worried about jerks or people trying to gatekeep you or just telling you that your deck is bad and then like just having nothing to do with you, I have yet to experience that as a new player and as someone who is trying to break into learning how to play. Everyone has misplays. Even the top players are going to misplay sometimes, not really know what a card does. Read the cards, stuff like that. People will explain things to you. Uh, no one out here is just flat out like, okay, you're bad. I'm just not going to talk to you. So, as a person who is kind of part of both the communities right now, I can definitely say that please, if you're wanting to either if you're an Abilene local wanting to go to Odessa or Odessa wanting to come to Abilene or just someone who isn't part of either of these communities, I encourage you to come out. It's a great time. You meet a lot of cool people. A lot of people are super chill and if you're looking for cards and stuff like that, that's probably the best way besides, just straight up getting what's it called? Just straight up trying to buy them from TCG Player and hoping you get the right card or that it's the right, whatever. Uh, Getting it here, most people will give you like a really good deal on stuff. I've gotten some great deals on cards just from Tom and from other people in Abilene. So yeah, absolutely, come out. Let's see here. Asking advice for how to build a deck or play it better is always good at locals. Us Yu-Gi-Oh players love to hear ourselves talk. I think we have proved that in this stream and every other stream so far that we just kind of like the sound of our own voice. But yeah, absolutely. Come out. Uh, you won't be sorry. You'll find a really great community, and we hope to see you at either Odessa locals or Abilene locals, or just either one of the groups. Come check us out. So with that, my long-winded outro. Again, thank you to Nick for coming out. Thank you for Tom for coming out, and we look forward to seeing you on the next episode of our player showcase. Title still in work in progress. Still don't have one, and for our next ban list roundtable discussion. So with that stream, I will see y'all later, and hope y'all have a great rest of your day.